Who are we connected to? Which connections do we keep? And which of these connections that we have really help us? As we go through life, we meet more people and our connections increase. We start with the limited connections in our family circle, but then they expand to include outsiders which we acquire through education, work, and marriage. Some connections are very important to us, and we take care not to spoil them. We do what we can to keep them strong and cherish them, like visiting them, constantly talking to them, bonding or spending time with them, and inviting them to gatherings. Losing such connections can leave us feeling incomplete, like a part of us has died. We must, however, choose our connection wisely because some of this or this connection can lead us to more trouble, even if they offer us pleasure to our bodies. The connection with illegal activities, for instance, and sinful relationship should not be continued because obviously they would lead us to more and bigger problems. In today's gospel, Jesus reveals to us two connections that he has, which he considered important. The first connection of Jesus is his connection with the Father. Jesus' connection with the Father is so crucial to him that he keeps this connection through constant conversation with the Father in prayer and through total obedience to his will. Jesus openly declares in the Gospel of John, chapter 4, verse 34, Jesus said, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me and to do what the Father wants me to do." And in the Gospel, Jesus identifies the Father as the source of strength when he said, "I am the vine and the Father is the vine grower." The second connection that Jesus considered important is his connection with us. He uses the image of a plant to express this. In the gospel, he said, "I am the vine, you are the branches." And we have been reconnected to Jesus. We have been reattached to him. We have been incorporated into his body through the sacrament of baptism. And that is the easier part. But the more difficult part is the challenge of Jesus in the gospel to remain in him, to stay with him. As he said, "I am the vine, you are the branches. Remain in me as I remain in you. For without me, you cannot do anything." That here, Jesus challenge us to keep that connection that we have with him. And to remain could mean to persist or to endure. And so we might say, a soldier remained at his post even when everyone else had left. And another meaning that is closer to this is to continue. To remain is to continue without change. That what Jesus is trying to tell us is that we need to imitate the way he relates to us. That just as his love endures forever, just as His love remains and never fails, so our love for Him must be the same. I am the vine, you are the branches. Here, Jesus is telling us three things. These words of Jesus remind us when He said, I am the vine, you are the branches. This reminds us that God owns everything. That God is like the vine grower, the gardener, who takes care of us and does whatever is best for us. And so, as followers of Christ, we must always be conscious and aware that we do not own anything ourselves. We completely belong to God. And so, let us not allow our selfishness and pride to trick us into thinking that we control everything. Instead, we should trust that God knows what is best for us. Second, when Jesus says, I am like the vine and you are like the branches, He is telling us that just like the branches that need the vine to stay alive, we need Jesus to have full and fruitful life. If a branch is cut off from the vine, it dies. It's the same for us as followers of Christ. We can only truly live and grow if we stick close to Him. In the Gospel of John, it says many times that we need to stay connected to God, to Jesus and His teachings. Without Jesus, we cannot do anything meaningful. And lastly, this story teaches us that sometimes we need challenges to grow. Just like a gardener prunes branches to make them healthier and produce more fruit, God sometimes allows hard times in our lives to help us grow. These tough times might be like pruning. They might be hard to go through this, but they can make us stronger and more faithful. So, when life gets tough, it might be God's way of helping us become better people. Brothers and sisters, again, who are we connected to? Which connections do we keep? Let our connection with Jesus be our first concern and priority, for without Him, we cannot do anything. And like Jesus, we must also keep and nurture our relationship, our connection with God through constant conversation in prayer and total obedience to the will of the Father.